Welcome back, truth seekers and connoisseurs of the human heart, to the inner sanctum of the entertainment world. Welcome to Mr. Magazine. You have tuned into the only digital observatory that refuses to be blinded by the glittering facade of celebrity life or the scripted smiles of the red carpet. Here, we do not merely report the headlines, we dissect the anatomy of the souls breaking behind them. We peel back the velvet ropes to reveal the raw, unpolished reality that the PR teams work so tirelessly to hide. If you are tired of superficial gossip and crave a narrative that touches the spirit and challenges the mind, you have found your home. Before we embark on today's seismic journey into the complex, labyrinthine love life of Turkey's most discussed couple, please ensure you have subscribed to our channel. For those of you who wish to be the true pillars of this community, enabling us to produce this high-caliber, independent journalism, we invite you to click the Join button below. Your support is the engine that drives our storytelling. And, as always, your voice is the chorus to our narrative. We want to hear your deepest thoughts, your theories, and your analysis in the comment section. Now, prepare yourselves, because the saga of Afra Saraçoğlu and Mert Ramazan Demir has just entered its most heartbreaking chapter yet. The narrative begins. In the grand, often turbulent theatre of Turkish television, the drama playing out on screen is frequently eclipsed by the storm raging behind the scenes. We have all been spectators to the oscillating rhythm of Afra Saraçoğlu and Mert Ramazan Demir's relationship. A love story that has unfolded like a high-stakes melodrama, replete with breakups, rumored reconciliations, dazzling gala appearances, and the cold shoulders of award ceremonies. Yet, just as the public began to fatigue from the uncertainty, a new development has emerged from the shadows, a leaked backstage moment that has completely revolutionized the tabloid press and redefined our understanding of their bond. It is no longer a question of do they or don't they. It has morphed into a far more painful inquiry: why can't they, even though they do? The silence between the beloved screen star and the famous actor has been shattered not by a public statement, but by a whispered plea in a corridor. My only request is to love you very much, but not now. Wait for the right moment. These words, leaked by witnesses who stood mere feet away from the emotional epicenter, form the basis of Afra Saraçoğlu's shocking and tearful ultimatum to her ex-boyfriend. She effectively declared, "I love you," while simultaneously rebuilding the invisible wall that keeps them apart. It is a paradox as old as time, yet devastatingly fresh in its delivery. The moment the cameras missed, a corridor confession. To understand the gravity of this situation, one must visualize the scene. It did not happen under the glare of flashbulbs or the scrutiny of reporters. According to persistent behind-the-scenes rumors, the incident occurred in the immediate aftermath of a high-profile event they both attended. As the cacophony of the crowd faded into the background, Afra and Mert found themselves in a quiet, dimly lit hallway, a liminal space between the public eye and their private reality. Witnesses described the atmosphere as thick with unsaid things. The two gazed into each other's eyes for a long, suspended moment, a silence that spoke louder than any shout. It is said that Mert, ever the steadfast romantic, broke the silence with a vow of absolute loyalty: "No matter what happens, I'll keep waiting for you." It was this declaration that shattered Afra's composure. With tears welling in her eyes, reflecting the exhaustion of a woman torn between her heart and her circumstances, she reportedly replied, "Mert, all I ask is, please understand me. I love you very much, but not now. Wait for the right moment. I'm not ready, and neither is our life." These words are not merely a rejection, they are a confession of an unfinished, unending, and infinite love. The duality of her statement, declaring immense love while demanding distance, has raised a haunting question that now hangs over the industry: will Afra return, but only on her own terms? The aftermath, tears in the mirror. The emotional toll of this encounter was immediate and physical. Although the set workers and event staff who observed the couple from a respectful distance claim not to have heard every syllable of the dialogue, their visual testimony is damning. They whisper of Afra's red, swollen eyes and makeup that was slightly smudged, the telltale signs of a woman who has just broken her own heart. Immediately after the incident, the young actress retreated to the sanctuary of backstage. She reportedly refused to speak to anyone for a significant period, clutching her phone tightly as if it were a lifeline, unlocking it repeatedly in a nervous tick of anxiety. One specific witness statement is circulating through the VIP lounges of Istanbul, painting a portrait of profound grief. When Afra returned to her room, she looked at herself in the mirror, stared into her own reflection as if searching for strength, and took a deep, shuddering breath. I heard her say to the empty room, "Why does it have to be so difficult?" Her voice was trembling, her demeanor shattered. These details demonstrate that the famous phrase, "I love you very much, but," was not a calculated strategy or a line fed to her by a PR team. It carried a massive emotional weight, the burden of a decision made by the head against the screaming of the heart. Mert's paralyzed expression, the agony of uncertainty. And what of Mert Ramazan Demir? How does a man process being told he is loved deeply, but not allowed to love in return? According to those close to him, the handsome actor struggled immensely in the hours following this conversation. When he eventually rejoined his circle of friends, the transformation was stark. The Mert we know, known for his infectious humor, his cheerfulness, and his boundless energy, was gone. In his place sat a man who was quiet, thoughtful, and deeply contemplative. A close friend recounts their brief interaction that night. I asked Mert, "Are you okay?" He looked at me and smiled, but it was a hollow expression, there was no light in his eyes. He simply shook his head and said, "It's just, sometimes life is more complicated than we think." He tried to change the subject, attempting to mask his pain with trivialities, but it was clearly overwhelming him. Mert has reportedly become fixated on one specific part of Afra's plea. The emphasis on the right time. This concept has become his torment. When is the right time, he asks. Is it a month? A year? Or is it a polite way of saying never? The uncertainty is a torture far worse than a clean break. The mystery of the right time, ambition or trauma. Afra's cryptic statement is being interpreted in a multitude of ways by industry insiders. What defines the right time for a love this strong? Some analysts believe the young actress is standing at a critical juncture in her career. With new projects on the horizon, lucrative advertising deals on the table, and her popularity soaring to international heights, she may worry that a chaotic, high-profile relationship could derail her momentum. She fears that a major decision in her personal life could change the trajectory of her professional existence. However, a darker, more personal theory exists. It has been suggested that old wounds remain unresolved. Afra still reportedly grapples with unresolved issues involving her family dynamics, the pressures of her social circle, and the lingering trauma of past relationship crises. Therefore, it is said that the young actress is acting with a mindset of self-preservation. This time, I want a full and powerful comeback, not a half-hearted one. She refuses to build a relationship on a cracked foundation. A production company employee reports that Afra has frequently been overheard on set sharing philosophical musings that sound like justifications for her actions. Sometimes, a person may choose to walk away even from the place they love so much. Because love isn't always enough. Time, circumstances, courage. When everything is perfect, everything should be together at the same time. These words seem like an indirect message sent across the ether to Mert, a plea for him to understand that love without timing is a disaster waiting to happen. Digital breadcrumbs, the social media code. In the modern age, the heart speaks through Instagram stories. Shortly before this hallway incident, some of Afra's social media activity provided a prelude to the heartbreak. In particular, a phrase she used in one of her stories caught the attention of her eagle-eyed fans. "My heart is ready, but no, he has to postpone his love." At the time, it seemed poetic, now, it seems prophetic. Meanwhile, Mert's recent post, "Sometimes your favorite place is the one you've been waiting for the most," has reinforced claims that the two are exchanging secret passwords on social media, conducting a conversation in public view that only they truly understand. We must pause here, dear Mr. Magazine family. What is your take on this wait for me dynamic? Is it romantic to wait for the one you love, or is it unfair to keep someone on hold? We are incredibly curious to read your relationship philosophy in the comments below. Fans are hopelessly divided. One camp argues, if there is love, it should be now. Why postpone happiness? Tomorrow is not promised. The other camp, perhaps more pragmatic, comments, she's right. The feelings may be ready, but if life circumstances aren't aligned, that relationship will wear thin and break anyway. Better to wait and win than rush and lose. The inner circle speaks, the fear of unfinished business. A closer look at the couple's inner circle reveals even more depth to this tragedy. According to a confidant of Afra, the actress is experiencing a significant internal civil war. On one hand, she possesses a love that has never faded, on the other, she faces the crushing weight of reality. Her friend recounts a private conversation, she told me exactly this, I don't want to lose Mert. That is my biggest fear. But I also don't want to leave things unfinished or do them poorly. If I rush things, I'm afraid I'll end this story on the wrong foot again. My only request is that you trust my heart, but don't let time interfere. These words reveal the psychological weight behind the phrase, my only request is that you wait. Afra doesn't deny her love, on the contrary, she accepts it as a fundamental truth of her life. But she refuses to restart that love hastily, on a half-finished page, knowing that doing so would likely lead to the same ending they have already suffered. Outro sequence. This brings us to the ultimate question, the one that generates the most curiosity and the most anxiety among their millions of fans. Did Afra's words, I love you very much, but not now, destroy Mert Ramazan Demir, or did they give him the ultimate hope? Is a not now a promise of a future, or a gentle way of saying goodbye? The invisible wall Afra has built is transparent, they can see each other, they can speak to each other, but they cannot touch. It is a purgatory of passion. What do you think will happen next? Will Mert wait, or will he eventually tire of the uncertainty? And can a love really survive being put on pause? Leave your predictions and your messages of support in the comments below. If this deep dive analysis touched your heart, please destroy that like button. It helps us immensely. And if you want to support independent journalism that isn't afraid to speak the truth, click Join to become a member of the Mr. Magazine family. Until the next breaking development, stay hopeful, stay patient, and remember, sometimes, the hardest thing to do is to wait for the right time. This is Mr. Magazine, signing off.